Somebody had asked a great question. So to wake up and know that these beings have been in control for so long and they have books to teach their offspring, how can we get ahead of them? The real question is, how do we get past without having to deal with them? Truth be told, you can't get ahead of fallen entities that manifested their future before you were even a thought in your mom's thoughts. So what I mean is, too, physically we'll never be able to get ahead of their ego. Why? Because this dominion, this domain that they reign over, or these different families that reign over our whole existence, they manifested this whole existence to make it their own. So we submit to their ego on a daily basis. And what do I mean? You got to pay bills, pay taxes, you go to school, you got prisons, you got cops, you got entertainment, sports, college, jobs, 9-to-5 jobs, homelessness. So there's many different things like cars. All these things that we see in the physical sense right now come from their manifestations, and who allowed them to even have this dominion over our ego. You'll call it God, I call it divine creator or duality. So because of that, to get ahead of them, you have to be mentally and spiritually ahead of them. So what do I mean? You have to actually align yourself with their frequency. So their frequency is, I call it Lucifer. So when I call it Lucifer, I mean in a sense to where Elohim, or divine creator, or higher ascended master of what we would call God, or the higher consciousness of God, is basically Lucifer in Satan's mind, or Satan's mindset, or Jesus's light. So therefore, by that happening, these entities worship this fallen entity because that's basically who their divine creator is. Not only that, they have taught and they were teaching their ways from that entity because they know that being, like they actually talk to it on a daily basis, and they come from that higher source of what we call heaven. And they actually come from that and they go right to it every single day. So they know God more than we do because they can transcend time and space and bend it into their own will. That's why they came up with NASA, not a space agency. So outer space is in our mind. You have to go within your mind and you have to transcend their space and time and make it your own, meaning that they don't see 2024. Timelines are what they did to just keep up with thoughts that are placed in human vessels. You have to think beyond 2040, 2050, 3000. You have to think about what you want to leave when the year 3000 hits. Like, what have you done when the year 3000 will come? Because the year 3000 will actually happen, but will you be allowed to see it? Who knows? But we are consciousness. So therefore, no matter what, even if we die or physically transcend our physical death, we will always come back in a spiritual sense or a consciousness aspect, depending on what you learn in this world. So now, how do we get past them without having to deal with them? You will always deal with them. The thing is, when you're awakened, you'll always, you are a threat to them. You are a threat to their system. And they know that. They marked you at birth. They know who you are. Not only that, they gave you the parents that you have. They gave you the job that you have. They gave you that phone, the clothes. Like, they know you. Like, they hear you. They listen to you. And they speak to you on a daily basis, but you can't even see them. So to get past them, focus on yourself. Worry about yourself. Get into the gym every day with your life. Look at yourself in the mirror and speak positive of yourself. Stop worrying about them. That's the best way to actually overlook them. Don't worry about them because you can't kill God. Like, if we're being real, these are Nephilim. These are fallen angels. You can't. It's like, imagine trying to fight a giant as a 5'4" American citizen. It's not going to work. Family, sorry. It just ain't. We got to be real with ourselves. So therefore, you got to understand. I got to stop saying that too. That's a program. But you have to escape their program because they have programmed us. You had to transcend English. You had to cast spells upon your ego, and you had to transcend your ego. You had to dominate your ego to make it submit to your conscious mind. Once you can make your ego submit to your spirit, then you can transcend the physical or human comprehension. So once you transcend the human comprehension level of thinking or way of thinking, then you're not a human being anymore. You're a hybrid. You're a demigod. What do I mean, a demigod? You think that you're a human being, but somebody told you that to limit the God within you. But you are God within yourself. So this whole entire existence, you are trying to figure out what God you are. Are you that heavenly embodiment of God, or are you Satan cosplaying as God? Or are you just God disguising yourself as a human being? Either way it goes, you were made in his and her image. So by that happening, you have to understand and love your enemies because they are a part of you. You cannot hate them because you will hate yourself. If you see them, you're seeing yourself. If you are studying them, you're studying yourself. You have to learn what they learn and actually do your own research and meditate. Go outside and sun gaze. Go ground yourself. Go be one with your inner self. Once you go within and you unlock your Akashic records, then you begin to understand that these beings don't have power. We give it to them. That's why they harvest our energy. Why? Because we allow them to. So it's like so for them being experimenters, they They got a mousetrap. They put cheese in front of it, or money for our sake. They put money in front of it. And what do humans do? What do rats do? We see the money, we see the cheese, and we say, that's 10 mil right there. I'm gonna go get that. Not knowing that behind that 10 mil, it's a trap. And we kill ourselves every single time. So once we kill ourselves due to our traps, we reincarnate and we forget why we were killed in our past life. Because we don't listen, we don't learn, and we're too egotistical to where we don't want to hear anybody's opinion because we think we know better. And that's the problem, because we're hard-headed and they know that. And we give them our energy every single day. Stop giving these fallen angels your energy. Once you stop doing that, they will not harvest our soul anymore. So if 8 billion people or 9 billion people stop paying bills, what do you think will happen to their system, their pyramid scheme? Look, have a great day, God and Goddess.